Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're breaking down the cost of living in Fells Point, one of Baltimore's most historic and recognizable waterfront neighborhoods. So if you're thinking about moving to Baltimore or just want to get a better sense of how much it actually costs to live in this area, this video will walk you through housing, transportation, groceries, utilities, and more. Now, this video isn't based on my personal opinion, but is based on research. With that being said, let's get right into it. Now, Fells Point sits right on the Patapsco River, just east of downtown Baltimore and adjacent to neighborhoods like Canton and Harbor East. It's known for its cobblestone streets, historic row homes, and waterfront views, but with that charm comes a unique cost profile. So let's get into the numbers. Now, housing is going to be your biggest expense if you're planning to live in Fells Point. According to current data from Zillow and Redfin, the median home price for Fells Point is around $425,000 to $525,000, depending on the size, location, and whether the property has even been renovated. You'll mostly find historic row homes, often 2 to 3 stories tall with brick exteriors and original architectural details. Now, many homes have been modernized inside, but prices vary depending on features like rooftop decks, exposed brick, and parking availability. Now, if you're renting, the average monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in Fells Point ranges from $1,600 to $2,200, and 2 bedrooms typically fall between $2,300 and $3,000. Now, units in new luxury buildings, especially those right on the water or near Harbor Point, will be on the higher end of that range. Now, for utilities, costs are in line with the urban Maryland averages. For a typical 2-bedroom row home or apartment, you can expect that electricity and gas are going to run between $120 to $180. Water and sewer may run from $30 to $50. It really does vary depending on if you're in a larger building or maybe you're in a condo. Now, trash and recycling is included with Baltimore City's property taxes and Baltimore City services, so you don't really have to pay for that. Now, internet can range from $60 to $90 depending on the provider and the speed. And BGE, also known as Baltimore Gas and Electric, provides most electric and gas services, and many older homes have been updated with central AC and energy efficient systems, but that does vary depending on the property. Now, in regards to transportation, Fells Point is considered one of Baltimore's more walkable neighborhoods, and it does have access to multiple transportation options. So the first thing being the Charm City Circular, which is free, and it does serve the area of Baltimore. Next is the Water Taxi, which connects to Harbor East, Locust Point, and other waterfront spots. You can also take the public bus, which is ran by the MTA, also known as the Maryland Transportation Authority, and bike lanes are also available in the areas. Next, parking in the area can be very challenging depending on your street or maybe your building, so the monthly garage could cost you between $150 to $250 per month. If you drive regularly, gas prices in Baltimore average about $3.20 per gallon, and car insurance can range from $140 to $200 per month depending on your driving record and coverage. Now, a lot of people in Fells Point do either walk or bike on a daily basis, especially if they work nearby or use the circular to get downtown. Next is groceries. Now, groceries in Fells Point are moderately priced with a few nearby options. Now, you have your Whole Foods, which is located near Harbor East. There's a Safeway as well, just a few minutes away from Canton. And there are also just like local markets and specialty stores throughout the area. If you look at the average of grocery prices in the neighborhood, you may be spending for a gallon of milk $4.10, bread $3.40, eggs $4, chicken by the pound $5.50, apples for a pound $2.40, and a monthly grocery budget for a single person usually does range from $350 to maybe $450. And for a couple or maybe a small household, you can expect closer to $700 to $900 a month, depending on where and how you shop. Fells Point is known for its vibrant dining and nightlife, and it's one of the city's most popular areas for food, bars, and weekend hangouts. Now, from upscale seafood spots to casual pubs and coffee shops, the options there are endless. Now, a casual dinner for 2 at a sit-down restaurant could range between $60 and $90, and a coffee at like a local cafe could be between $4 and $6. If you're looking for a cocktail at a bar, it'll probably cost you between $10 and $14, and if you're looking to go to the movies, a typical ticket may cost you between $13 and $15. There are also frequent street festivals, farmers markets, and art walks and live music in the area. So if you're somebody who enjoys really going out, Fells Point does have a lot to offer, but that lifestyle can add to your monthly expenses. So in regards to healthcare, Baltimore is considered a medical hub. You're relatively close to institutions like Johns Hopkins Hospital, Mercy Medical Center, and MedStar Harbor Hospital. And individual health insurance in the Maryland area will likely cost you $400 to $500 a month if it's not covered by your employer and depending on the plan and your income. Now, copays and prescriptions usually follow the standard national averages, and dental and vision plans may add another $30 to $60 per month. Many Fells Point residents do work in or around the medical field, so proximity to these centers is a bonus. In regards to taxes, Maryland's income tax is progressive, ranging from 2% to 5.75%. 5%, and Baltimore City does add a local tax of 3.2%. Now, the property tax rate in Baltimore City is 2.248%, which is higher than its surrounding counties by a landslide. That means that if you buy a $500,000 property, your annual property tax bill will likely be between $11,000 to $11,500, depending on the assessment and the credits that you may have associated with the property. Now, the sales tax for the entire state is 6%, which applies to most goods and services, obviously excluding like certain groceries and prescriptions. And for homeowners, the city does offer programs like the homestead tax credit and newly constructed dwelling credit, which may reduce the tax burden if you do qualify for those things. Now, you also have your miscellaneous costs and your lifestyle costs, and other costs that you should probably consider and keep in mind are like gym memberships, which in that area, if you're looking at like a boutique studio or a yoga studio, it's probably going to cost you $100 to $150 per month. You'll also have potentially pet fees if you're looking into rentals if you have pets, and those often are either non-refundable or there's some type of pet rent. Now, if you're paying a non-refundable pet fee, that will likely be between $300 to $500, and if you're paying a monthly pet rent, that'll probably range you between $25 to $50 per month per pet. Now, obviously, you will also need to have homeowners insurance and potentially renter's insurance if you are looking into either one of those options. Now, for the both of those, it'll probably range you between $25 to $200 per month, depending on the coverage that you're choosing. If you're not really going to be driving, you're probably going to be like Ubering or Lyfting other places. Rides downtown or to the airport will likely range between $15 and $30 depending on the time of day. Now, living in Fells Point comes with access to historic charm, nightlife, and walkability, but because it's one of Baltimore's more desirable neighborhoods, many everyday costs do tread slightly above the citywide average. Now, if you're planning a move to Fells Point and you want to go over your housing options, your budget, or what to expect in different parts of the neighborhood, feel free to call or text me directly, or you can schedule a time to chat using the link in the description below and the pinned comment. I'd be happy to help you figure out your next step. So just a quick recap. The cost of living in Fells Point for housing is roughly $425,000 to $525,000, which is the median purchase price. To rent, you'll probably be paying between $1,600 to $3,000 per month. Now, for utilities, $160 to $220 per month, depending on the size of your home and the efficiency. Now, the city is very walkable, but you will likely be paying for a parking garage if you can't find street parking, and in general, your car insurance will add to that cost. Now, in regards to groceries, they are near the state average. You'll probably be paying somewhere between $350 and $900 a month, depending on the household. For dining and entertainment, lots of local options in Fells Point, and you will likely be paying $60 to $90 for a dinner for two. In regards to healthcare, premiums are around $400 to $500 per month with access to top hospitals. And in regards to taxes, there is a high property tax rate at 2.248% plus 3.2% local income tax. You can also think about the extras that you may be paying for, which will include gyms, rideshare, pet fees, and insurance, which can increase your overall costs. Now, that's all I have for today's video. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you on the next one.